last time it didn't focus that well on my face, and that's because I have a very old camera. It's like a Canon, so it's a good camera. But I think I bought it in 2008 or something like that. It's super old. Like, it still works, but clearly it's not like as sharp. Like, I see all these other vloggers, YouTubers where they're like super nice cameras, and I'm like, oh, maybe I'll get one of those. And I logged in to see these prices are bananas. Like, maybe I'm in lag mentality, but anyway, for now, we'll just stick into this camera that sometimes likes to focus and sometimes it doesn't. Welcome to this video. In this video, I'm going to talk about energetics. I also talk a little bit about who am I and a little bit of my background and how I got from where I was to where I am now. And of course, we talk about energetics, which is basically the theme of this video is energetics. Traducing, how do you say that? I am Mexican, but I lived in the States for 7 years when I was a child. I actually learned how to speak English first and then Spanish, so sometimes I don't get the words right, and then I want to traduce them and then they sound stupid because that's not a word. But decoder, I decode energy. I can read energy, and it's easy for me to put it in words and to see patterns in people's bodies and people's dynamics, people's lives, and how to see shortcuts energetically, how to get to a place faster, a place in your life faster. So that's basically what I do. And this is what this video is about. Say hello, everybody. Anyway, I hope that you enjoy this video, and I will see how these evolve. I'm really not sure how long should they be, how I'm gonna do them. I'm just trying stuff out, being creative. It's what I like doing anyways, just create stuff and be having fun. So I hope that you enjoy it, and please let me know in the comments your thoughts around energetics, and if you have any questions or any themes that you would like to talk about, I'm more than happy to hear you out. And I'll see you in the next one. Hello everybody, and welcome to this podcast. It's my very first podcast that I'm doing. I'm super excited. I guess I will also keep it short and sweet as the beginnings of my odyssey into podcast recording. But hello, my name is Maria. I am an Akashic record reader, a medicine woman, a singer-songwriter, an artist, and truly someone that has developed a skill that I believe everyone has, some more than others, that is called extrasensory perception, which is basically being able to sense things with something other than our 5 known senses. And every person that possesses ESP is innately highly sensitive, but not everyone that is highly sensitive has ESP. So my journey really began around 2018, where I went into a very intense self-discovery journey. I was living a very hellish life now looking back, in a very toxic relationship, in a very toxic environment in my job. Even though I really loved what I used to do, I studied to be a veterinarian, and I still love it to this day, but the environment that I was in for 4 years was really intoxicating for someone that is so innately receptive like I was at that time, not knowingly, and am now, consciously and knowingly. So after a bunch of hardship and also discovering that I had a lot of health issues that made me like paranoid and just have really, really intense like feeling like I was being chased or hunted down, and this was all related to my hypothyroidism. So like my hormones were completely whacked, and that's why I used to have like these type of symptoms. I was completely like not denourished. I don't know if that's the word. Not nourished properly for my size and my age and everything. And I was just having a really bad time, but I have a very strong sense of wanting to do right by others. I was always super responsible in all of the jobs that I used to have, and being perfect and being the best at what I did has always been a curse and also a blessing. So at that time, I was overly doing it until I remember very clearly, like, okay, so I also had, most of my coworkers were Mexican people, or like, yeah, Mexicans. And I had like one or two foreigners that were my coworkers. And I remember one of them being a Hollandish woman. Is that how you say it? Anyway, she was from Holland. And I remember she like set me aside and she's like, you know what? I'm not your mom, but you look terrible. And I feel like you really need to look after yourself. You really need to see what's wrong because you don't look right. And this was a moment where I really realized that something was going on and that nobody around me had the balls or the guts, pardon my French, to say it to my face until this woman had the courage to do so. So this led me into a moment to self-reflect and to go into a journey where I could actually know what was going on with my body. And one thing led to another where I discovered like plant medicine, and that really just made my life switch completely. Also, not alone because of the medicine, but because of what the medicine brings in, which is just information. And I'm going to tap a little bit into that because that's basically what I do. And I would love for you guys to know what this means, which is the basis of energetics, which is this episode's theme. So when I went into this medicine journey, I discovered a lot of things that I innately knew about myself, and I just knew that they were there, but maybe didn't know how to name it or channel it into something that was productive for myself or for other people. And it really was a journey of going into with this new information and actually taking the steps in the reality to slowly move from where I was to where I needed and wanted to go with now this new discovery and this new identity. So circling back a little bit about what this information was, it's basically just a projection of energy, right? The medicine on its own has its own clear energy, but it only is reflecting back to you what you already have within you, and is trying to guide you towards a more authentic place that you need to be. And there's many ways to activate this part. It doesn't have to be with medicine. Some feel that calling, and if that's not you, this is also perfectly fine. Some others find it through therapy, through other things. But the basis is energetics. So what is energetics? Is if we go as what in the dictionary says, it's basically the proportion of something in terms of energy. So the amount of energy this or that has. And not only the amount, but the nucleus or the basis, the root of that energy. So as being someone that has ESP, for me is almost very easy, I would say sometimes, to be able to perceive, to know. And obviously this came after a lot of practice and a lot of training from my part. Like the innate ability was there, but of course I had to develop it. But to be able to observe what is behind the action, what is behind the pattern, what is behind the question, what is behind that doubt, and to be like, yes, this is what it is energetically, and that's why this is having an effect, and it looks like that, right, in your life. And also to be able to see where in other areas that might be also reflecting, and that maybe you're not able to visualize it. I always use this example, which I think it's really helpful, and it's like, I'm able to show you a color that you don't know, that you've never seen before, and then once I show you that color, then you can see it everywhere, right? And you can see how it's in everything, because now you are aware of it. And it's just because information, which is basically energetics, information triggers transformation. There is no other way. The moment we have a new information in our consciousness, that activates the ripple effect, the domino effect, to have a transformation. Now, of course, this transformation sometimes asks of us to do things that create a lot of resistance in our body or in our mind or whatever, but it will always feel some sort of right, like that's the right way to go, that's the right thing to do, even though there's resistance there, even though there's sometimes fear, or sometimes whatever, things come up clearly when we want to change and when we want to evolve and when we want to expand. And that's why not everyone does it because it's innately hard, at least at the beginning, because we're going through from one place to another one, and that requires a lot of mental processes and a lot of presence and a lot of energy, and a lot of detachment and visualizing the new. So this is basically the basis of energetics, is just information. This is like the most easy way I can describe it. It's just information, new information that will make sense. It feels almost like when someone puts in a little piece of the puzzle, and you know how it is just perfectly shaped for that part. That is how it feels to be shown this type of information through energetics. And other types of therapy are obviously helpful, like when people are going through physical things, even though it might have an emotional leg of, like, let's think of this illness like a chair. Yeah, so even though it has a physical leg, it also has a mental leg, and it also has a spiritual leg. Yes, and maybe another leg that we are not aware of in our reality as human beings. Let's also put that in there, so it's just a 4-leg chair. Yes, but when we only focus on one thing, we might maybe even heal it physically, but we might still feel the pain that thing causes us, because sometimes it's not just the illness, but what was leading the illness to, what it means to you. Yes, and so on. So it's like a little game, and I always like to tell people, we are multi-dimensional beings. So we have a physical body, a mental body, a spiritual body, and they all need our attention in different capacities and in different ways and in different levels. So neglecting one or choosing just one to focus on will at the end, make maybe that one a bit stronger but also stiffer when we're not putting energy in all the other legs of this chair. So this is where my piece comes in. We all have a different piece to serve humanity, and mine is this one. and if mine was another one, then I would have stayed being a doctor, or maybe even choose to be a human doctor, but I didn't. I didn't have the passion for it. So this is also where purpose comes in, and we all have a purpose to serve, and we all have a specific layer where our energy goes to and our intention goes to, and mine in this moment is to serve with this ability, this extrasensory perception, to help other people observe the energetics of their situation. And it's fascinating. This is, I think, one of the first times I've recorded myself explaining it, but it's always such a very subtle subject that sometimes is really strange to have to condense it, because it's so out of almost reality, but at the same time it makes so much sense when we experience something being said to us that is innately true. We can feel it in our body, how it's like, oh yeah. And this maybe also has happened to you, when you can tell when someone's lying, and maybe they look normal, but you can tell that something's off. And you hear it in many things, in many stories of many people across time. And this is energetics. When they talk about mother's intuition, it's energetics. When they talk about, I always knew that guy wasn't a good guy, it's energetics. It's all about the gut feeling, the knowing without the senses, the knowing because I just know from gnosis, from GNOSIS, from gnosis, from the knowing of the spirit. Yeah, so this is what innately is energetics, and it's such a beautiful subject and theme to talk about. And I'm really excited to channel through all these different things that I have so many notes and so many things to share. And hopefully some of these things that I talk about click. Some of them are helpful for you, some of them inspire you. That is the main topic of these audios. So I hope that you are doing well. It was super nice to meet with you in this moment, in this audio form, and I hope to keep on seeing you here. Much love. So thank you for making it this far in the video. Thank you for sticking up until the end, getting to know me a little better, and talk about energetics, which is one of my favorite topics. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and yeah, it was a fun thing to do, super creative. I know I look crazy right now, but I'm gonna take out the dog for a walk. It's super hot here, so please don't judge me. See you in the next one. Thank you so much for being here. It was so nice to connect in this way with all of you, and I'll see you soon, I guess. Bye. Thank you.